American billionaires earned $434 billion during the pandemic. It seems like everyone should suffer in one way or another, even billionaires, because the entire nation was on a lockdown. But the exact opposite is happening. Jeff Bezos added $35 billion to his net worth in the last few months since the pandemic has started, and even witnessed his net worth to hit records high $189 billion. Zuckerberg was also one of the biggest gainers. He added over $25 billion to his net worth in this pandemic. These numbers are incomprehensible to ordinary people. And that's not by accident. The modern capitalistic world we have built over the centuries is designed to favor the rich over the, let's say, not so fortunate. It's actually much more expensive to be poor than rich. It might sound a bit controversial, but hear me out, because when you have extra money sitting in your bank account, a lot of things suddenly get cheaper. So before we start, just smash that like button, because apparently that's what the YouTube algorithm wants. And now, since you have smashed that like button, we can get right into the video. If you have ever tried to get a loan from your local bank, they probably ask to check your credit score. As a bank, you want to lend money to people who are financially responsible and have the means to pay back that loan, plus interest on top of that, which is the whole purpose of a bank. So they will check your credit history, your income, maybe your assets, and based on all of that, they will base their decision on whether to give you a mortgage or not. If you have a low credit score or low income, you might be rejected and end up renting instead of becoming a homeowner, even if that means waiting for 25 years for complete ownership. But let's say you are an amateur with an average salary and a decent credit score, and let's say the bank approves your mortgage. You can expect a mortgage rate of 3 to 4%, which is not bad. But do you know what's Zuckerberg's mortgage rate? 1%. That sounds insane. The guy has a net worth of $90 billion. Why on earth would the bank charge him 1%? And someone who is struggling financially and barely makes ends meet, the bank would charge him like 4%. In fact, the inflation rate is around 2 to 3%. How is that even possible? It might not make sense to you, but that's how the world works. Lending a few $1 million to Zuckerberg isn't risky at all. I mean, he can pay his mortgage easily at any point. He can even buy the bank if he wants. While you, who are hardly making your monthly payments, can default on your loan. So the bigger the risk, the more they are going to charge you. This is of course an extreme example. Comparing one of the richest people to an average person isn't that fair. But even if you're moderately rich, let's say with a net worth of just a few $1 million, you're a much safer bet to financial institutions than your friend Billy, who lives paycheck to paycheck. Considering that purchasing a house is the biggest transaction in most people's lives, your house is going to cost much less if you're rich compared to someone who has a lower income. That's just part of the equation. Let's say you have $25,000. What are your investment options? If you want to buy a house and rent it out, you probably need a lot more. The median house price in the United States is around $200,000. It will take you a lifetime to save another $175,000. But if you're rich, with your $25,000, you can make an investment that's worth $200,000. Any bank would gladly provide you with a mortgage even if you plan to rent it out and pocket the difference after deducting all your expenses and create another source of cash flow. The exact same $25,000 worth a lot more in the hands of a rich person than in a poor person. Because if you have low income and already have a mortgage, chances that the bank will approve another mortgage for you are extremely low. What's also quite interesting is that since it's a mortgage, you can deduct it from your income and avoid paying taxes, while as a poor person, you will have to pay every dime in taxes. Let's say you have $1 million in cash and you want to invest in real estate. The logical option is to buy a property and then rent it out. But why do that when you can head to your local bank and use leverage to purchase real estate worth $5 million and create even a bigger source of income? Let's say you came across an opportunity to purchase a car for $10,000. You buy the car and turn around and sell it for $11,000. Congrats, you've made $1,000 in profit. But here is a better idea. If you use leverage, you can borrow $990,000 and now you have $1 million. You turn around and buy 100 cars and sell them for $1.1 million. After paying back your bank the $990,000 plus interest, which amounts, let's say, to $10,000, and if we deduct your initial $10,000 you have used, you're left with a $90,000 in profit. Leverage allows you to earn 100 times more than you would otherwise. We have already talked about how the rich always find loopholes in tax systems to avoid paying taxes. However, there are other kinds of taxes that we all have to pay no matter who you are, such as sales tax or property tax. The latest iPhone might cost $9.99, but if you're buying it in California, you will have to pay a sales tax of 7.75%, which amounts to $77.5. They are known as regressive taxes, a fixed percentage over particular goods and services. The key word here is a fixed percentage. At first glance, they seem fair, everyone pays the exact same percentage, but in reality, poor people pay far more. Regressive taxes don't differentiate rich people from the poor. It doesn't matter whether you're earning $1 billion or $50,000 a year. Both of you are going to pay the exact same $77.5 in taxes. To your fellow billionaire, that's not even money, it's an extremely small percentage of his income. But to you, who is earning $50,000 a year, that might be 1 week of groceries. We pay regressive taxes every single day, every time we buy something. But the biggest cost by far is the opportunity cost. When you're struggling financially, your primary concern is to put food on the table. You don't have time to think and contemplate to figure out what could be the next big thing. Opportunities are everywhere, but you need the time to figure them out. However, when you barely make ends meet, you don't even think about it and end up missing all those opportunities to make much more money. Even if you want to take advantage of them, you can't afford to take the time off. Whereas if you're financially free, you can take all the time you want and end up earning much more in a very short period. But this concept goes far beyond. It turns into a lifestyle where you are much more price sensitive and end up buying what's cheaper instead of what's really valuable. And no one can blame you for that, because every penny makes a huge difference in your lifestyle, especially if you have a family to feed. It's not easy to break the cycle of poverty, but here are a few pieces of advice I can give you. First, always use a credit card, but use it responsibly, which means never borrow more money than you can pay back, and always cover your debt on time. You have to build a good credit score to be trustworthy in the eyes of financial institutions. Secondly, don't be distracted by short-term rewards. Focus on making your time more valuable. Don't be afraid to invest in yourself. A higher price doesn't always mean a better product or service, of course, but always look for more value in return for your time and money. And if you want to see more similar videos, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We're always trying to put our best into every single video and bring maximum value to you, because we know that your time is the most precious thing you have. So make sure to subscribe and keep the notifications on. In case if you want to support us for additional perks, you can check our Patreon page. Other than that, thanks for watching, and until next time.